The more money and more pressure that I have, the less creativity I have.
You are your own monkey wrench.
I have associated my computer with stress.
Staying the same is not an option. All
Perfect.
right, we've got another episode of Fix My Biz. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Faith. I'm a photographer. I've had a lot of mental things happen over the years. I've been in business since 2019, and it seems, the more money and more pressure that I have, that I make, the less creativity I have overall.
Oof.
And it kind of puts a strain on that.
The more money you make, the less creativity. That is very
hmm
interesting. Okay, so and how much money are we talking here? Are you having like dramatic growth or is this just like bit by bit it's just becoming more and more soul sucking?
Well, I've been trying to kind of nail that down, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm a mom of three, so I really think it's different things overall. So
Mhm.
I think it is time,
Mhm.
possibly time management,
Mhm.
whether that's family, whether that's business, whether that's, seasonal things, whatever that may be in business. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
So what is it like for you? When do you feel this, because you described it as like it's like a losing your soul in your work. Where do
Yes,
you feel
yes.
that most keenly? Is it like I'm going to assume it's not, tell me if I'm wrong, during the shoot. I'm going to assume that during the
Oh,
shoot you're feeling engaged. When are you feeling
correct.
it the
Yes.
most that it's like the most soul sucking?
The most soul sucking.
Mhm.
Definitely when my family needs me and I have to essentially go back into an edit.
Mm.
The time, again, we're speaking on time again.
All right. Well, we cut out just then, but now we're back again. And where I lost you was you were saying when your family needs you is when it feels the most
Yeah.
time sucking. Go on from there. What were you saying?
Well, when my family needs me, I have a
Hmm.
2-year-old daughter.
Hmm.
So my studio is actually in my home as well. So that's a key factor there.
Yep.
So, with editing being so close to home, it's
Hmm.
so time consuming
Hmm.
and really sucks everything out of the fun out of everything whenever I'm focused on something. And I do have ADHD too, so it does not
Yeah.
help. But
Yeah.
distractions, all of it definitely adds up. And it almost seems like I have associated my computer with stress, if that makes
Ooh.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So interestingly, I would love to go back and replay what we've talked about so far. But
Sure.
I think if I were to put a guess on it, how many times do you think you've said the word editing in this conversation?
Several.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess it's about 4 times. So, when I
Mm,
asked you, "Is the shoot draining?" No. Is the session itself draining? No. Is the work? Is the client? No, 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 no. Every time you keep coming back to
mhm,
it's time and it's editing. So, let me
mhm.
ask you, if you did not have to edit these sessions, would the pain of the photo shoots go away?
It's possible. I am a type A person. So
Mhm. So, you might introduce a
I
new
like to
pain.
be, yeah.
Mhm.
But I do think that deciding what brings my soul alight
Yeah.
and leaning into that more instead of focusing and unfortunately having to focus on controlling everything and
Mhm.
making sure everything is perfect
Yeah.
and essentially bring in my time management
Mhm.
properly and decide
Mhm.
what that means for me is definitely key.
So I'm going to repeat back something you said earlier. You said, "I've begun to associate my computer with stress."
Yes.
So I do not think that the problem here is the photo shoot at all. I think the problem is
Mm,
entirely wrapped up with this blockade that you have delivering clients images, moving on to the next session because you are your own monkey wrench.
Yep.
You are
That is
holding on
absolutely
to
true.
set to things that you do not have to hold on to. Because let's imagine this. Okay. Let me first ask you, how long does it take you to deliver a full session to a client?
So that depends on how busy I am. I
Okay.
do sometimes, I do actually promote sometimes same day editing as
Oh,
session day.
wow. Mhm.
Yeah.
So you have same day IPS. Tell me about how that works. Same day IPS and same
Um,
day editing.
so, same old people come in. I usually only have one client, so it works out pretty well.
Uh-huh.
Um, they'll do their hair and makeup, usually about 45 minutes to an hour and a half max. And then you know the drill here. They do their session, and then right after we have their IPS cell. And then as soon as that's done, I go ahead and start editing the images and
Yep.
send those out as soon as I'm done. That way I am done all in one day.
Okay, I heard your voice light
Mhm.
up a little bit there. How good does that feel, or how stressful and painful does
Oh,
that feel?
if I'm able to get it all done in one day, I am perfectly happy, super happy actually, because, I get my sale, I've got everything done, and there's nothing, calling me back and echoing my name with
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Because every time
Um,
you've talked about your computer in this call, your voice has gone
yes.
down. You've been in
Yeah,
this pit
I
of
know.
despair. And this was the first time that I heard you go, oh, oh, and then I send the images off. And you were like
Mhm.
so excited. Okay,
And
so
I'm
why aren't you
done.
doing that
Yes.
100% of the time?
Usually it's seasons. Again, my studio's in my home, so
Hmm.
during the summertime, my kids are home.
Hmm.
Again, my 2-year-old's here needing me
Hmm.
24/7.
Hmm.
um, so, I have to, and my husband also works from home 2 days out of the week. So
Okay.
it's like if I don't schedule it perfectly, then things outside of my business, are demanding my attention. So I have to put that on hold,
Yeah.
and it's more of a perk than it is an advertisement. Oh, same day editing. It's more of a, oh, hey, I got this out for you. Over, what is that saying? Over deliver,
Under
under
promise, over
something.
deliver. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Hmm.
But it's not
Oh, okay, so
a
you're
thing
not
that I
promising that. You're just like,
right.
surprise, your session is done. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And that's also a good surprise
Granted,
for you.
yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
how long does that editing take?
Well, it depends on how many images, but if it's a boudoir session, which I do often,
Mhm,
it can take, a couple hours. But if it's a headshot session and you've got to get in there 300%,
mhm.
it can take, quite a bit longer. Granted, I'm
Yeah.
not editing as many photos usually with
Mhm,
headshots, surprisingly.
mhm.
But yeah, it's and the album process, I usually get all of that done as well. So it's
Wow,
a
great.
marathon essentially for one person, like an
Sure.
8-hour day in total.
Yeah.
But if
But
I
then
could
you're
have that
done.
every day,
You're done
I
for the week.
absolutely would.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's pretty cool. Okay, so here is the good news. The first thing we always have to know in business is we have to know what is the problem we're trying to solve. And so when this
Hmm.
began, I think that even I could see in the comments that people were taking this in different directions. They were like, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's really soul
Oh
sucking
yeah,
for me
for sure.
too. And everybody had a different reason why it could potentially be soul sucking. But I think we've now identified over and over again on this call that your main problem is the editing is the soul sucking. It's
Hmm.
nothing else. I haven't heard anything else come in the way that's saying that this is
Hmm.
your struggle except for the editing. So, number one,
It's
now that we know
yeah.
the problem we're solving, we have to say, how do we fix that? Is there anything else I'm
And
missing that's creating a problem?
I think distractions, with
Mhm.
everything, distractions are my weak point, and then it
Mhm.
causes stress. So if I could get
Yes.
it all, like you said, if I could get it all done in one day, it'd be perfect. But
Yes.
yes, if I needed to have an alternate process
Mhm.
for days that I can't do that, I would be all ears.
Okay. Well, okay, so now that we know the problem we're solving, we have to now say, what are you willing to do to change? Because once we
Okay.
identify a problem, there's only three paths forward. One, stay the same. So if you want to have this conversation a week from now, and a month from now, and a year from now, we could still be talking 1 year from today about how soul sucking photography is. And it could
Mhm.
actually even get worse because, as you can obviously feel, the more painful and long that something is, the more of a grind it becomes. And that's how people burn out and leave the industry. So
Yes.
staying the
Mhm.
same, would you agree, is not an option?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Unless you just want to deal with pain for a whole lot longer, but most people don't. Okay. So the next option is quit. Is it on the horizon that you might stop being a professional photographer? Is that a consideration for you?
I don't think I'll ever stop,
Mhm.
and I can't really slow down anymore just because, I mean, I've only done maybe 3 to 5 sessions a month right now, so it's not
Mhm.
really a volume situation,
Mhm.
so there's gotta be something else to change.
Yeah. So this is really the only option. It's stay the same and continue to hate your life.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
quit, which sounds like you've ruled that out as well. But honestly, I will say that for some people, the idea of quitting is very freeing and that would be an option. And for those people who are maybe hearing this and wondering if that's an acceptable answer,
Mhm.
of course it is. Everything is an acceptable answer. The question is, what's the acceptable answer for you? So I ask people, I say, hey, when you think about quitting, does it A, feel heavy? Does it feel like misery and anguish? Or B, does it feel like, wow, that's a load off my shoulders? That's so freeing. Because another option entirely, and this happens a lot of times when people talk about photography as soul sucking, is they have taken it from love of art, love of a
Mhm.
hobby into business. And
Yeah.
for those people, they honestly may be better served taking it back to hobby. So that is a
Mm.
completely acceptable answer, but sounds like for you that is not an acceptable answer, which is good to know. So now the last
Correct.
option, stay the same, quit, or change. That's the
Mhm.
only other thing you can do. So I think that what you should do here is I would recommend to anyone experiencing a hurdle like this, you have to really, I think of it like know your pain and define your gain. So I think we're getting much clearer on what the pain is. And the pain is this feeling of overwhelm, the feeling of running out of time, the feeling of neglecting your family. There's a lot of painful things that editing is introducing into your life. The feeling of, not liking the work you do. There's all kinds of things here. So when I say know your pain, I want you to go deeper on this. So this is an exercise I have for you. I want you to take a piece of loose leaf paper when we're off this call and just really lean into that pain and exaggerate it. Tell yourself, I refuse to accept
Mhm.
feeling like this. Make things terrible, terrible, terrible. So I learned this
Fair.
technique from I was reading this book by Ryan Serhant, and he talked about how, I mean, he is now like a multimillionaire, but there was a time where he was on the subway in New York and he stopped at a bodega and he just wanted a snack. He got off the subway, he just wanted to go get a yogurt at the corner store, and he did not have enough money in his pocket for yogurt. And that was
Yep.
his pain. That was a defining moment for him. He said, I never, ever want to be so broke that I cannot afford a yogurt. And for me, I
Mhm.
really felt that pain when, you might remember from my book, She Sells, I talked about the saddest stretch of highway. I was driving to my client, and all of a sudden the rain started falling down, and I knew that the client was going to call and cancel that shoot. And I was relying on that shoot because the money I was
Yeah.
anticipating making was going to get my car home. I did not have money to get gas.
Mhm.
So I had to dig in the cushions and find change and put
Yes.
quarters in. I mean, that was like my low point. I was like, never again. So I want you to feel this as deeply as possible and feel how painful this is for you, for your family, for your clients that could be missing out working with you because you're burning yourself out. So really
Yeah.
define that. Get really crystal clear on how bad this situation is. And then on the light side, you're going to talk about know your gain. So I want you to imagine all the freedom that comes with this because listen, I get it. Everyone has gone through this. Everyone I've ever talked to, myself included, had a time where they said, I do not want to outsource retouching. I refuse to do
Yeah.
it because Like you, they're type A and they want to control the process. Or sometimes it's like the other thing feeling. It's like, no, but this genuinely has an element of joy to it for me. There's that piece of it too. And so there's all kinds of reasons why people wouldn't want to let this go. And so for you and for others, you have to know, what might it look like if you eliminated 4 hours out of your week, 4 painful hours sitting in front of that computer, hating your work, feeling like your soul and your time is being sucked away. What if you just didn't do that?
Right. It
How
would
freeing
be
would that be?
yeah, it'd be very liberating,
Yeah.
and even expanding on that, hiring a social media manager, all of those things is definitely been a subject. It's just, again, relinquishing that control, and
Yeah.
being okay with that and stepping back a little bit is,
Well,
I
I'm going
guess
to
I've got
make
to
that one
pick my
even
hard.
easier. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm going to make that one even easier for you, Faith. Did you know that you don't have to do any social media at all? Because here's how I'm going to prove this to you.
Please
Go,
explain.
okay, go to Megan DePiro Photography, and I want you to count up how many posts there have been this year. I would be shocked
Hmm.
if there were even 7, and we're
Wow.
in the 9th month of the year. I would be shocked if we had even 1 post a month, and yet our business every year does over 500,000. So you don't need social media.
Do you think that that's because did you do social media beforehand in order
No,
to get to this point, or is it?
nope.
Hmm.
You could go back as far as you want. I would be shocked if the lifetime of my business, which is 15 years, I would be shocked if there are even 100 posts on that page.
Are you doing emails then? Is that where how
Nope.
you're essentially what is your
Nope.
marketing style then?
My marketing is connection. My
That's
marketing
fair.
is meet strangers, turn strangers into friends, turn friends into clients, invite them in for a session. That's my marketing. And, talk about when you're talking about efficiency and time management, here's the beautiful thing about connection marketing. All you got to do is put a date on your calendar. I know that this
Mhm.
networking meeting is the third Tuesday of the month from 4 to 6. I can make a 2-hour commitment and then I'm done. That's it. I just got to
Mm.
fulfill that commitment. So when you're in growth mode, as I was when I was first starting up, good news is actually once you're established, you don't even have to do this as often. But in the beginning, I was like committed to 2 networking events per week. And just
Mm.
that built my business from 100K to 200K to 300K. My first $300,000 was exclusively made through connections through networking, not through social media, not through Facebook
Yeah.
ads, not through Google ads, just 2 meetings. That's 8 meetings per month, builds hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and I posted recently as well. Essentially, I ended up posting on my social medias and
Mhm.
got no responses, but
Sure.
I ended up texting my friends who are
Mhm.
my clients,
There you go.
personal text and
Mhm.
booked 4 mini sessions within
Now you're
15
talking.
minutes.
Now you're talking because
And
that's the power of
it's all about
connections.
the connection. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, okay, so I didn't even mean to go down this road, but there you go. We just
I
eliminated a whole
know.
nother thing you don't need to do.
That's fair.
So
Wow.
part of business mastery is understanding what are the essential things that you must do. And you can think of it like this. Is a job $1,000 an hour job, $100 an hour job, a $10 an hour job, or a $0 an hour job? So when you made that post on social media and you got crickets, that
Mhm.
was a $0 an hour job.
Yep.
So you did not
That
need to
took
do
me
that.
hours.
Yeah. Oh, even more. Okay, it was multiple zeros. It
Yeah.
was 0, 0, 0. So you
Yeah.
did not need to do that, and 100% you do not need to hire someone to do that because that is a $0
Mm,
an hour job. And if you're paying someone else, it's a negative dollar an hour job. So we can just cross that off the list. But we can
love
look
that.
at the hour you spent texting people. How much money did you make by sending out those texts?
$1,800 pre-bookings.
Ta-da! Pre-bookings, still more money
Yeah.
coming. Yeah, so that's what you need to do. So if I think of it like this, if I think, okay, Faith has the opportunity, same as anyone else, maybe of 20 hours a week, maybe of 40 hours a week, whatever amount of hours you're working with, how can we get more $1,800 hour jobs? How
Mhm.
can we do more of that? Okay, meanwhile, retouching. Client has already paid you the money. They've done their straight out of
Mhm.
camera ordering appointment. How much money are you making per hour to retouch those images?
Uh, break it down.
The answer is
You
0.
know?
The answer
Yeah.
is 0 because you have already done the work and
Mm,
received the payment. You are not making any extra dollars by you sitting there for 4 hours, alienating your family, depriving yourself from
yes.
time with your toddler, and dreading your job. There is no extra
Yeah.
money being made by you working that job. Now, I
Mm,
could argue that it is still an essential and expected part of your job. So it's a little
yes.
more than $0 an hour, but it is definitely not worth your hours because if you were out there and you were networking or you were reconnecting with people, thinking of you messages, calling folks, shaking hands, any of those activities, those are the activities that make you money. Retouching is not making you any extra money. So we need to get you out of that business.
Hmm. So, and I'm gonna try to think about this, but
Mhm.
does that not take the art aspect out of it a little bit?
Well, I'm glad
Like
you brought
the
that up. That's a really good point because that is a tough one. A lot of people will say, especially people who say, but I like retouching, or but
mm-hmm.
my clients expect my retouching, but that's my
Yes.
artistry. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to that. So when you are presenting an image to a client and calling it art, where does that piece of art belong? Does that belong on a 3-inch cell phone screen, that piece of art that you just worked over?
It does not.
It does not. Where does that art belong? If you are an artist creating art, where does that
Mhm.
art belong?
On the wall or in an
Correct.
album. Fair
There you
shame.
go. So here's the answer I'm going to give you. Any client who purchases wall art, you can do your signature touches on because that
Mm,
is now you as an artist delivering that expected signature style. And clients are
okay.
paying for it to enjoy it as art, not to see it on their cell phone.
That's very fair. I like how you think.
Yeah. So you can have one level of art, which is a standard retouch, and you can have one level of art, which is a master art retouch. And here's the really cool thing. So for those of us who do get energized, because, honestly, I got sick and tired of retouching really fast. I mean, my first
Mhm,
year when I was part time, I had 11 shoots. I made $33,000. And you're about at the same too. You're about a $3,000 average, right?
mhm. Yes.
Yeah. So, but it only took me 11 shoots to get really sick and tired of retouching. So I entered that soul sucking phase super early. And that was the first thing
Yes.
I let go of. But even still, and to this day, I do get satisfaction from really digging into an image and seeing how that image can evolve and seeing how I can make it into a piece of art. But I want the reassurance that when I spend my time making signature art, that it has been paid for as art. So the master art retouch, I give you permission. Spend your time on that because now it's no longer a $10 an hour job or a $100 an hour job. Now that
Right.
is a $1,000 an hour job because the client is paying for it as art.
Mm, I like that a lot. That makes so much sense
Yeah.
broken down like that.
Yeah. Yep. So here's our options going forward. And I'm going to give you two paths that you can take. So, first things first, I want you to write that define your pain and know your gain. Because I think that when we're doing something challenging, you really have to feel strongly that this is an important move. If it doesn't hit you hard enough, if you don't see enough freedom, you're not going to move forward. And if you don't see enough pain, you're going to keep on, hanging with it. You're going to
Mhm.
be like, I'm just going to keep on doing this drudgery until it hurts enough. So I want you to really
Yeah.
feel this and see it on paper and see what you're costing yourself in terms of what freedom you're losing and what pain you're creating. Okay. So that's number one. The next thing is, I want you to fully embrace the idea that you have full permission, Megan approved, to retouch everything that is purchased as art. That is your job as an artist, and you can claim that. So I totally give you permission on that. But what we need to fix is that thing in the middle. We need to say, how are we going to move forward with retouching? So I'm going to give you two options here. The best option, the option I would hope that you would take, and that I know you will take eventually, it just might take a little longer to get there, is that I think you should just let go of that standard retouch entirely. I think you should hire a company or a person, train them in your ways, and let them take that off your plate. But if that is just a step too scary and you're not ready for that, I'm giving you an alternate option. The alternate is that you can continue to commit to finishing the images same day. And what
Yeah.
that's going to mean is that you need to have on your calendar, cleared with the family, with the husband, with the toddler,
Hmm.
you need to know this is mom's work day. Mom is needed for her clients and also needed for them. Because if you can finish this in one day, that you just
Exactly.
cleared a week of work. So you
Exactly.
need to commit to that. So if you commit to that, then I think you could be a lot more free than you are now. Because I really think it's the mental anguish of things hanging over your head and loose ends not
Oh,
being
it is.
completed. That's the worst. Yeah.
And I think it's the fear of forgetting about something too,
Oh,
and
yes.
because
So much.
I'm juggling so many balls and I have to figure out
Yes.
which ones are glass and which ones are rubber and which ones I can drop without shattering, and it's
Yeah. There's as we're
yeah,
discovering, there's probably a lot more balls that you could just leave on the side. You don't even need to deal with them at all. But I think this is a big
exactly.
one that you need to
Hmm.
let go of or just handle it like in a different way. So I think knowing that you're going to prioritize a full day and be done with it is going to be so very freeing. So it'd
Yeah.
start there. And then, if at some point, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get sick of even that. It's coming. It's going to happen because everyone will tell you the same thing. And everyone else will tell you that as soon as they let go of retouching, they never regretted it. So
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
you still do need skilled hands at work. Finishing this job is important, but those hands don't have to be yours. And so that's the
Okay.
problem to solve. And once that's solved, are you beginning to get the sense that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that photography does not have to be soul sucking, that you don't have to hate your computer? Like if you were just picking up your camera and your phone and stepping away from your computer, would that look like a better life for you?
It really would.
There you go.
It really would.
Okay, so I love that. You've made the commitment that you're going to
Hmm.
pursue outsourcing, retouching. My goodness, that is night and day different from where we started this call. So that's what transformation.
Yes,
Okay, now, big
absolutely.
question. On which date does this begin? Give me and you a date to commit to.
Um, well, I my next session, um, the
The very
25th
next
will
session.
be my next session. I will,
Wow.
yeah, like it
Well,
is one of
hey,
those things that needs to happen. So,
I'm here to tell you that you have knocked my socks off because you're very fearless in moving forward and you've made some huge leaps today. So I did not expect that you were going to be as forward moving as quickly as you are. So I'm very, very proud of you for this. The next session, there it is. All right, then to hold you accountable to this, I want to hear about it and rise to the top. I want to know when you outsource that retouching. And now that I have written down the very next session, it's going to be real soon.
yes,
Deal?
yes, I'm very excited about it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad we could fix your biz and good luck.
Thank you so much, Meg. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Want to fix your biz? If you're a professional photographer or an aspiring pro, you need to join me in the best business group on the internet, Rise to the Top with Megan DePiro. Ask your business question there in the group, and you might just be my next podcast guest. Join me at rttt.life. Are you there, Faith?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Hey, I got you. Yeah, you were onto something
I
good
ended up
there, but
getting a phone call, so that it
ah,
probably glitched us out a little bit. It's kind of a pretty
sorry, I'm
quick and
dying here. Hold on a
easy.
second.
No, no, you're okay.
1 second, Faith. I'm dying. Eric, can I have water? I swear, like, I heard the sound of my cat, and then suddenly my throat is like, I'm dying. Okay, bear
Relatable.
with me. Oh my God, we're gonna have like every glitch possible on this call. Eric's running to get me a water.
It's okay.
Oh, I think I lost Faith. We're gonna message you, Faith. Oh, I think you muted yourself, Faith. Are you back, Faith? Are you back, Faith? Can you hear me, Faith? Are you back? Are you back? Are you back, Faith?
I said we'll eventually have this finished.
Oh my God, I think we should have like every snafu possible in one call. Ah, it's gone again. Guess you've muted yourself, Faith.
I think this is taught us so we're not gonna do any more phone.
I really keep getting a phone call from my mom.
Oh my God, your mom, she needs you
It's
right
cutting
now.
us out. I don't know what's happening.
No, that's delightful.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, thank you for putting mom on hold for business. Listen, you better call mom right back.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.